IVM.
My favorite link is storytel.com/IVM, which is a lovely place to go. Best books available. I'm not saying that because they're forcing me, but stop choking me. All right, I'll do it anyway. Yes, available on Storytel is a book called Becoming by Michelle Obama. It's a book that's changed my life. It's made me a complete woman. I used to be a very different person, but because of this book, you sort of believe in yourself, your gender, and the ability to achieve anything. There are no limits, thanks to Michelle and Becoming on Storytel. So keep in mind that if you go through storytel.com/IVM, you get a 30-day free trial as against a 14-day free trial on the link. All right, it's very simple. All you got to do is log on to storytel.com/IVM. Millions and millions and millions of stories, many written by me. All that and more. Find it all on Storytel. Kripaya dhyan dijiye. The language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Okay, on Cyrus Says, we meet Roshan Netalkar. He is the richest man in India, pride of Bangalore, but dresses really shabbily and has long hair.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Well, according to pundits across the country, elections for Maharashtra state are going to be a bit of a washout, and they expect the BJP Shiv Sena combine to just roll over the opposition. Which brings me to the point here on Cyrus Says, we don't have an opposition. No opposition, no democracy. No democracy, no fun. So we need an opposition. Here's my point. In today's day and age, why can't we outsource opposition? If the opposition in the state is not good enough, let's go beyond the state. And I say beyond the country as well. Why can't I take maybe the neoliberals or the Labour Party of England, Jeremy Corbyn and gang, and get them in, and they fight against BJP SS combined. I think that'll work a little better. Let's outsource. Let's go across nations, across the seas. Let's find other people. Let's form an alliance, and let's have a real democracy. This is my gift on Cyrus Says to India.
Hi guys, this is Ayushi.
And I am Ritasha.
And welcome to Agla Station Adulthood.
It's a fun podcast we've got going on, and we'd love for you to tune in and enjoy with us.
Join us as we stop at various stations and discuss different topics that seem to be bothering us, and hopefully
Dating,
you as well.
relationships, beauty, just being an adult, lots of different things.
We don't have a great grip on it, but we've done okay so far.
Catch Agla Station Adulthood every Thursday on the IVM app, the IVM website, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
Okay, on Cyrus Says, we finally found a millionaire. It's been a long time. We've got a big shot. It's taken me years now because, whoever comes to the building actually for vendors, for work and all, Roshan, I'll introduce you in a second, but I just want to tell you off the record here. Whoever comes for work to repair things, we put them on immediately. So we've had a carpenter, we've had electrician, we've had a plumber. They don't do work properly, but they're very good at the podcast. So now the pressure's on you. Let me introduce you to the guests. To the people listening. Our guest is Roshan. Is it Netalkar? Is that correct?
Yes, Netalkar.
Super, not bad. And apparently you're from Karwa. Karwa, which is somewhere between Maharashtra and...
no, it's between Karnataka and Goa.
Goa and Bangalore.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
yeah. But I have one friend from there. I was about to... Now, obviously, I've screwed myself up and said all the wrong things, so I look like an idiot. But by and large, I do. And the food is very, very close to Goan food, isn't it?
Almost.
Yeah, so that's what his mother used to make really good stuff, all the curries and all that.
The fish is insane.
All that. Yes. Prawn curry. I think balchao also they made. Do you make a version of the balchao?
Yes.
Why don't people make a good balchao anymore? I can't get it anywhere.
I think it's the fish.
Is it?
It's fish from the coast. Even now,
but in the cities, we have Goans, we have people from Karwa, we have people who have that in their culture, but they don't seem to make it.
I think there's the taste of the land also. Really matters.
God, that's really? This is like geographical racism. You're saying the land sucks. We're in the stupid Mumbai where all the foods taste as bad as possible. Maybe, in a sense. But I feel really sad because growing up, balchao was like in the Parsi community, we had this thing called kid gosht, which was like a whitish yogurt gravy and mutton. That also seems to have disappeared more or less. Very rare to find. And balchao amongst the Goans and people from, I suppose, Mangaloreans as well, from across, that also just... Where's it gone? You talk about the tiger and the whale and, being extinct, but there are food dishes which can go extinct and no one is doing anything about it. Where's the government, I ask you? Where's the government now?
So I think it's all consumed by the guys on the coastline itself. So what happens is usually all the good stuff gets consumed right there, and all the bad stuff gets sent to the cities.
Is that it, or is it they sort of sell out because you sort of come to the city and then you become harmonious with the rest of the city and eat the same Mughlai food or paneer tikka or the dosas, it's the same 10-15 things that we eat and we just ignore, and so we lose things.
Yeah, exactly. If you see the way Bangalore has actually grown in the past couple of years,
Yeah.
from a music perspective, I don't think we had Bollywood ever last 15 years back. And
it's now
today
corrupted.
It's gone.
It's corrupted. Say the word. Say the word.
Not really.
Roshan, no need to feel fear. They can't hurt us here.
So at least 20-30% of our population is.
Yeah, so I'm saying this so-called India coming together and having one sort of basic culture is also going against us because we're losing all the fringe.
Yes.
The fringe I feel very scared about. The fringe is us.
Yeah,
the fringe,
exactly,
what are we?
Exactly.
It's so easy to just have 10 things in common. I mean, that what's that? It's like a building.
Yeah, so hence the reason I'm here was for the festival, correct?
Right.
And,
don't worry, I'm coming to all that.
Yeah.
My absurd and bizarre conversation will lead somewhere. We don't have to worry. We will promote everything. I swear to you. Yeah. So since you brought it up and since you're already upset with me, I will offer you a biscuit.
No, I'm good.
This is Jim Jam biscuit. It's got jam in the middle, which is a bit like music because you wait for that those lyrics in the middle or the melody in the middle, which really makes the song. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that you're the founder of Swordfish.
Yes.
Which is also a very rare sighting these days.
Correct.
Swordfish. Now that we discuss food, have you ever eaten swordfish?
I tasted it once in Kerala.
1 second, Peter is calling. Sorry, I won't ask this question ever again. But the very rare sighting, swordfish. But we'll come to why you named it Swordfish. But your formative years were spent in the small coastal town of Karwar. This is all the information I have. And you divided the time between playing in the wilderness and spending time with the craftsmen. It sounds a little creepy.
Yeah.
You're alone in the wild playing with yourself. That's what we're getting.
Not really.
Yeah.
My family was into jewelry.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're all craftsmen. We make gold jewelry.
All right.
Yeah. So
you're like a failure now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge family business, all rocking with gold jewelry. What the hell are you doing with your swordfish? Okay, you tell us. Come on. So how coming back from this jewelry background, I'm sure there was pressure on you to be in the business and all.
Yes.
So take us back and tell us what happened. Let's hear your story.
So of course I didn't want to be with my father because they would have got me married to a Konkani girl.
I've seen some pretty Konkani girls.
So
change your mind now?
That's just one of the reasons. Of course, I think we moved to city.
So just to clear, Karwa, you speak Konkani or you speak
Konkani?
Konkani.
Yes.
They don't speak Mangalorean or Tulu or anything else?
No. Okay. It's Konkani. It's almost like Goa, the culture.
Yeah.
It's just divided by a border, which is 5 kilometers away.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So can you sing Undir Mama Ailo?
Not
Not bad. Not bad. The only Goan I know can't hold a note, but what the hell? It's all right. We'll push through. Okay, so family business was gold. Why did you decide to go against it? Other than, of course, getting married off and those kind of things.
No, that was just a joke.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it was freedom. Correct. Once you're in a
you
family
just didn't get into it. You were never into.
No, I was. I tried my hands with it. I actually designed jewelry myself.
As a young kid?
As a young kid, I was 20s. So I designed a whole range of jewelry, and I actually sold out in like a week's time. And that kind of gave me a lot of confidence about design, and I wanted to take it forward from there. But definitely not with all the pressure at home. Hence, I moved out and I started Swordfish. So, of course, it was a design agency which we initially started doing visual merchandising. And then I realized that every time you design something, it would take you months to produce it. Like, I would hate to be an architect, for example. You sit and design a home for 6 months and then you take 3 years to produce it. So I wanted something immediate, like output which can release you immediately. And I thought events were the scene because...
But just rewind a little bit. So you were with the business, with the family business.
Yes.
You actually tried your hand at it, and obviously you were chip of the old block and family was happy.
Yeah, perfect.
And you said it's sold in seconds.
Correct.
So why would you not do it then? You were successful.
I was rebellious as well, and I wanted to.
Is there some personal story you're not telling us? Is there a
no,
fight with
not
the dad
really.
or-
I just wanted to go explore. I wanted.
You were
to...
chasing a girl in Bangalore?
Nah.
Just chasing dreams. Okay. So you went to study then?
Yeah, I went to Bangalore for studies.
Okay. Which college were you in?
I was in Baldwin's.
Okay. And at this point, you hadn't decided to do your own thing yet?
No.
Okay. So when did you decide that you're going to start your own events? Well, it wasn't events first. It was, as you said, it was just a design company.
See, coming from a small town, you move into a city. Suddenly, you're kind of amazed and you sparkle with all these things you see. College life, then you start going to pubs, and then you start listening to music.
But the pubs close at 10:30.
No, I'm talking about the 90s, late 90s.
But late 90s only, they used to close.
No.
What are you saying, Baba?
Come on, we used to come back home at 5 in the morning.
Maybe you had some special license. MTV went there at 10:30. We would buy 4 drinks and sit because 10:30 they shut it.
So it's been...
Black Cadillac, am I right?
Yes.
There you go, brother. I've given you proof. Look at how I suffered. There's no balchow in my life. They've taken away Kid Ghosh, and they used to shut the bars at 10:30 in Bangalore. And no one's talking about the pain and suffering of upper middle class people in India.
Yes.
Someone has to write a book on this. Yeah.
Correct.
So you suddenly thrown into the city,
Yeah.
and you've got all these temptations,
Yeah.
daru, chicks, people
Yes.
trying to look chic and all
Yes,
that.
yes.
I suppose that competitive nature of city is quite a beast also
Of course.
on its own.
And of course, then you started wanting to make a quick buck, correct? So you started doing these odd jobs that...
Dad, mom pressured you?
No.
Nobody said, come back, beta, this is all...
Of course, that was in and out. I used
You
to
didn't
take,
feel emotional?
No. I used to take that as an opportunity to get out in the night, work.
Okay. Huh.
So yeah, so I...
Are there brothers and sisters?
Yes.
So you had backup also?
Yes, of course.
Thank God. All right, sorry. So we are back. You're in Bangalore and you start now deciding to do your own thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So it just didn't happen that I wanted to do this. It took some time. I tried my hands in a couple of things.
Like?
I got into, again, another line of jewelry design. Then
So you're going to compete with your own family?
No, not really.
You got onto another line?
Yeah, the line as in like I started experimenting with silver as a
Aicho.
from gold.
That's like playing for Pakistan after playing for India under 19. That's how can you leave gold and go to silver? That's mean. And silver is a far more stable product from what I gather.
Yeah. So then
Which pays more actually?
No, it's basically the design which pays.
Is it?
So, yeah, because what
so you're
happens...
paid for your art more than the metal?
Correct. So with silver, that what happens. However, with gold, people perceive it as a value. So it's like an investment. So nobody gives a damn about how great the design is. When a person buys gold, he buys it saying that kal kuch milega jada.
Correct.
Something to that effect.
It's like marrying Virat Kohli or something.
Yes.
You don't do it just for his looks. You say, okay, I've got extra money and influence now, at least in Delhi Gymkhana. So very interesting. So you let go of the family business, but in your mind, had you decided to do that, or you were just, as you said, being rebellious and trying different things?
I was just trying different things.
So what did you think you would do at that point?
Clueless, completely clueless.
Were you into music?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So
everybody in Bangalore is into music.
Yeah.
The rock sort of anthem is Bangalore.
Correct. So I started headbanging first, and after that, hip hop came in.
This is 90s. Let me just remind people, because I have a couple of millennials in the podcast studio with us, and they're like, "What is headbanging?" Headbanging is huge for our generation.
Yeah. So you used to go to these pubs, lock yourself up, and lose your mind for hours. And you come back with swollen eyes.
These guys are now mantris in Karnataka. Because they're the 90s product who are now running the state and running away from the parliament as fast as possible, depending on who's in power. So you do headbanging. But what was your plan?
There was no plan. So as I said, I took odd jobs out in the event industry. Did these production jobs and realized it was so much fun. And I got to meet a lot of people.
So, Roshan, you're saying it's so much fun, but since I've also worked a little bit in the events line, I have to tell you that the easiest job is the anchor.
Correct.
Everybody else really works hard. Okay, you have long hours putting things up, fighting with clients, fighting with the people, the vendors, all that. And then you take everything down also after an event. You've got to take care of all the vendors post that. So it's like without sleeping, an average event would be like 48 hours to 72 hours without sleeping.
Yeah, minimum most of the time.
Yeah, so why would anyone want to do that? I've never understood.
So I guess the clan itself, the whole event industry clan, if you see them, they're quite crazy. They're very passionate about things, correct? So I think what keeps them up is the need to do something new all the time. And that's what event does, as I said earlier, correct? You design today, you produce tomorrow, you destroy day after. I don't think any industry does that.
Also works for politics, huh?
Yeah.
Your slogan. And of course we will destroy day after. Don't worry. Vote for us now.
Yeah. So it was quick. So your excitements are quick and they're short-lived, and so you jump on another boat after that. So it keeps going on and on.
Okay, you're being very modest, but suddenly you hit a lot of success. So I want to understand the journey. When did you realize that you're going to be an entrepreneur?
Wow.
Oh,
That was a
awkward
decade.
moment. No, he's going to tell us because some uncle put money in. And
No,
there's a bad story here.
No, not really. I think it's been really great. So actually, nobody put money.
But let's understand, you are a headbanger. You're just having a good time.
Yeah.
You're not very ambitious at that point, and you don't have a clear path. Am I right to say this?
Yes, of course.
You don't have a clear path.
There's no
yet.
clear
Okay,
path.
then what happens?
Then I think the need for being there, done that. Correct. So you also get exposed to these great shows, great productions, and you feel a want to be part of those things.
So you're working on it.
Yes.
But you're just a guy who's working on it. You don't have any power at the moment.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So the need to understand, I guess that's what kept me going on, and then we started getting to work with great brands.
Like?
Today we work with most of the luxury brands in the country. The whole Alcobev industry is with us. So
I like the way they tie Alco Bev. So it gives Alco a little bit of, proper credibility.
Yeah.
We put Bev in it also. It's not that bad. Sirf daru nahi hai. There's also, tea. A cup of coffee. Something like that. Yeah.
So
what I want to understand is when people listen to these shows, I'm hoping, because a lot of parents and all, they don't seem to understand. They think the kids are good for nothing or, drifting along. But that's everybody's life at some point.
Correct.
So you had this drifting along period where you're chasing your tail,
Yes.
in a sense. You're not sure what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is there a moment where you have a cathartic moment where, everything happens?
Not really. I think one after the other, you start delivering for your own self, not for the client, correct? And then you realize you get that confidence, and slowly the next thing you realize you're sitting across a table with some IIMs and taking.
But that's Bangalore. That's any table.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Bangalore, I mean, really?
Yeah. So you're sitting across table with people and guiding them what to do, and I think that's when you're sorted
But keep in mind, you're saying all this while you're still working for somebody.
No, I never worked for anybody.
So you
I immediately after the jewelry.
When does Swordfish start?
Almost 10, 12 years back.
All right. So I just want to know. So did you work for anybody in the event industry?
No.
You immediately started on your own.
Yes.
With a small event.
Yes.
All right. And Swordfish was the name you chose. Why?
As I said, I was quite fascinated with the marine life because my house was 50 meters from the
sea.
beach.
Ooh.
Correct. So
You never lost your roots in a sense.
Yeah. So most of the time, used to go pull those ropes with the fishermen, trying to figure out.
They're not ropes. When the fisherman asks you to pull something in the dark, it's not his rope. Roshan, what the hell have you been doing? Do you have any idea? There's one happy fisherman is saying, Roshan, wapas aa gaya. Beta, come home. My rope. Man, bro, they really screwed you, man, for years. What are you doing?
Well, I thought that was a fish.
Swordfish. It's alien to Indian shores, but they're fooling us. All right, cool. So we'll take a break. We'll come back and talk about how you got the name and how you launched yourself. The spin I want, honestly, if we can get out of you, is how an entrepreneur becomes an entrepreneur. How a person who's not got any real connectivity,
Correct.
who's not got any, no chacha puts money on the table and says, bro, go start your business.
Yeah.
So we want to know that, how the journey began.
Sure.
Because the three parents who are listening, that's my two parents who still have hope for me, should understand that it's okay to be to try different things and to sort of struggle and fail also.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, we'll come back in a sec.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance, from stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Vaisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.
Back here with Roshan, who's telling us the story of super success. Today he pays. He is GST compliant, ladies and gentlemen. He pays every rupee of tax to the government. And in India, we have many governments. You have to pay Karnataka, then you have to pay whoever else you're dealing with. Then plus central government, you have to pay 18% minimum. Then there's something for the girl child and something for the people with less arms and legs and some people who have no hair. I mean, there's no end. Okay, I think we're being insensitive. People are calling in. Roshan, tell us that moment. I love those moments. Those moments are what make this show. When did you become an entrepreneur? Forget that you made money or not. When did you say, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing.
So it's very difficult to pinpoint, correct? So there were personal milestones you keep getting as you go along the way. And the milestones get bigger by size. That means bigger by money as well. And somewhere down the line, I think...
Is there one client who made a difference? Is there one meeting?
So, surprisingly, there's nothing called your client, in the industry. So we keep hopping. So it's about...
Some people, because of a relationship or alliance with one particular client or one vendor, sort of things go in the right direction for them.
Yeah, so those days it was...
Like our Prime Minister when he met the Home Minister.
Correct.
And they put things together and doing so well now.
Yeah, so...
Don't laugh, huh? You have to be careful.
I know. So there was this company called iValue. So we started doing work for them across Asia. So a lot of travel. They've explored all the other cities. That's when we started offices in Sri Lanka and stuff like that for these guys. Yes. So there was one client who believed in us, and he put all the eggs in our basket, and then we delivered for them back to back.
Who's our but? You do have partners?
No.
You just like to say that because you're a modest guy. You
No.
brought up not to say me.
No, I think I have a fantabulous team. We're almost 60 people right now, and they've given a lot to what we actually believe in. So I think we have to give it to them for sure.
Okay, let's come back to Swordfish. Why the name? I know you're a coastal boy. Karawar is always part of your heart, and you want to remember your roots in a sense and where you come from. But why Swordfish? Why not shark?
Have
you ever met a mermaid? You're a coastal boy. Are there mermaids or not?
I probably eat her.
Oh God! Again, it's that fisherman. Rope. No, it's a mermaid. Look properly.
So. If you understand the quality of swordfish, correct? It's one of the fastest fish.
Oh, is it?
It is. It will not attack you unless you mess with it. Unless you mess with it.
Yeah.
So I think,
what is mess with it? You're in what are the laws of the marine world? I mean,
I've never seen a swordfish attacking a human.
But you've seen swordfish?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, of course, not in the Indian Ocean, but everywhere else, they're used for
You mean swordfish don't like Indians?
They
They refuse to come here. They're like, not Indians. They're very bad people. We'll go straight. Take a left. Sri Lanka, much better.
We'll find whales.
But they have been killed, huh?
Yes, they're used for sports.
Because of the sword?
No, just for sport, because it's the most difficult to
fight
catch.
each other.
No, sport
as in hunting, fishing.
Hunting.
What a moron. Yeah. Hunting is land, fishing is sea. It's a basic concept. Yeah.
Correct.
So, and we've done it? Indian sailors, Indian fishermen have
Not
killed?
really. I think you find a little bit in the south side, that's Kerala, you find some sailfish which looks like a swordfish, which is not a swordfish, technically.
Garibo ka swordfish.
Garibo ka swordfish.
No, in fact, somebody from PETA has called immediately to point out. We heard that sound in the background. Yeah. So you took the name Swordfish because of the speed, and you see yourself as someone who does things in the blitzkrieg.
And I think it's like the design of the fish itself. If you see, there's a sword, there's a nice big fin. So I think design-wise, it made really good sense.
So design is very important to you, and you have to have that emblem, which is actually also symbolizing who you are and what you're about, in a sense, is it?
Yeah, to an extent. I think design is
but it's a strange metaphor. Normally when people say, what animal? I mean, people, when you drink alcohol, which I've stopped doing, very often you play these games with, what animal are you? What animal do you think you are? Would you like to be? Because you are animals like wolf or tiger and even peacock sometimes, but very rare to hear swordfish, I must say. I can see the phallic interpretation, which is unnecessary, but it's interesting that you think of it because of speed and efficiency. Is that right? Am I right to say that?
Yes.
All right. So let's get back to the career. You start Swordfish, you start events, it starts galloping along.
Yes.
And take us through some of the experiences, the big clients, the things you've done.
So currently, of course, we're working with Diageo very closely.
Right.
So almost all your liquor launches, which you see, the Black Dog.
Liquor bev, huh?
Liquor
bev to keep everybody happy. This is only liquor?
Yeah, just liquor.
You got rid of the bev. Can't take it anymore.
Yeah. So of course, there's diverse clients, correct? So one side we have a very corporate approach where we work with people like Hitachi and
Hitachi is still around?
Of course,
it was my first stereo. I didn't know what happened to them after that. I'm talking about 1992 or something.
So Hitachi is diverse, from home compliances to network security to data to almost everything.
And now they make swordfish as well.
Yeah. So of course there were a lot of clients which came along the way. So there's a corporate side to us, and there's a whole lot of Alcobev.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned Diageo, and I'm trying to remember back in the 90s, and now that they've established themselves here, they're very strong with events and things like that, aren't they?
Yes, of course.
It's a very important thing for them to be out there, and they're one of those brands you hear about a lot.
Yeah, so Black Label, Black Dog.
Yeah. I don't know why people shy away from the word black, just because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we right now, Roshan? What's happening right now? You're passionate about design and simple things as well. But you also, are you in the music business?
Yes.
So can you take us through that a little bit?
So I actually produced a festival called Ladakh Confluence in the
Which is
2008.
huge.
Yeah. So of course, I think we were much way ahead of our times because the country had just seen small spurts of festival in the city.
Right.
And doing a festival in Ladakh was one of the biggest challenges I've ever faced because technically it would have been the highest festival in the world. You know what happens when you land in Ladakh?
But highest in the Indian way,
No,
not highest in the
highest in-
Western way where the people just smoke.
No, I'm talking about... I'm talking
Literally
about...
highest, yeah.
Literally, yeah, because...
I've been. Sometimes the breathing and all as you run uphill and it's not easy.
No, not breathing. You land on a flight. We had
Yeah.
to acclimatize the artist for 2 days.
For singing and stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be tough, right?
No, you can't walk. Your oxygen levels drop down. So, of course...
So the older the musician, the safer. Because you put him in a chair, give him a mic and say, okay, beta, now sing as much as you can. Something like that.
So I was part of the production then, and of course it was a difficult...
This is 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
Who performed?
We had Talveen Singh, we had Boklong Boys, the beatboxers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole lot
Talveen
of
Singh
them.
also appeared on many shows with us. Where's he now?
Yeah, I think he just landed in Delhi yesterday.
Oh, I didn't mean like that. I meant in life.
Yeah,
Alright.
so he's in UK trying to figure.
So 2008, you had these names headlining it. And now?
Today, of course, when we came back and, of course, financially it was not viable, correct?
But you get sponsors, right?
No.
Tell us how it works, the inside.
So-
how does it work?
So I will tell you the current scenario, correct? Currently, we are the 4th edition of this festival called Echoes of Earth. Yeah, so born in Bangalore completely.
So this is more rock festival?
No. So the funny part about this festival is it's has a vast demographic of people, correct? So you have a 6-month-old baby with a mother and a 50-year-old grandmother with a dog on a leash attending this festival.
Well, why does the dog have to be on a leash?
So I'm just telling
Leave
you.
him free.
Yeah. So I'm
Put the grandmother on the leash. What the hell's wrong with people? It always upsets me to see that. Yeah. So what you're saying is that the entire family generations come and enjoy.
Yes.
So what are we looking at? All types of music?
Yes, we have 4 stages. Starts from jazz, funk,
I
pop.
think only Bangalore can pull this off, to
Yeah.
have that sort of diversity.
Yeah, so you'll be surprised. It happens in 300 acres of a forest.
Wow.
Yeah, just 45 minutes away from city, and spread across the stages. You have to actually go look out for those stages. Like, of course, Bangalore loves the dance music, so we have one techno stage which is deep inside the woods,
Right.
and so on and so forth.
What happens to the poor animals? I'm just thinking when techno breaks out, a lion's mating with a lioness, it's like, what the hell's going on? Just think about all these things.
Yeah. No,
okay,
of
sorry, I
course.
interrupted. So that's one stage then?
Yeah, so the other stage, of course, is live electronica. Bangalore always loves the
Mr.
electronica.
Chinnappa will be there, I'm sure.
No, live. It is percussion.
He doesn't... Acha, they're performing live.
Performing live with a lot of gadgets, of course.
Okay.
And then there is the fusion stage. That's where your sitars of the world come live. Yes. So hence we managed to get a very diverse
So
audience.
that's that world music thing? Where
there's
we have...
one world music.
Okay.
There's one electronic.
What about
stage.
rock?
Rock, of course. There are a couple of performances in the middle, of course.
Just a couple. This is Bangalore. What about all the rock?
I know.
So you'll never hear like Jethro Tull again and all?
No.
Gone forever?
Yes.
You saved the swordfish, you killed rock. I'm in pain here. Roshan, what have you done? All right, so you curate these festivals?
Yes.
And this is a very personal question. Is there a way to make money or how does it...
So it's been a very difficult one, of course, because the ROIs on these festivals, especially considering the amount of festivals which are popping out, they usually last for a year or two. And after that, it gets very difficult. For us, this is the 4th edition, and I think we just managed to figure this out.
But what about sponsorship? I thought it works on the... You get a...
So it's like this. You either do a festival in a confined space, which is your grounds, correct? So your infrastructure cost is
Less.
very minimal. And when you're talking about 200 acres of infrastructure, that's a huge...
So why do you have to do it then? Why do you need so much space?
The whole idea is the vibe. If you really come to...
But 200 acres is ridiculous. If I want to go to all 4 stages, I'll take days.
No, they're not that far.
Huh.
But the festival is actually spread across every...
Is this in the West, is this also common? I'm trying to think Woodstock and all that, but do they have really big...
it's funny. A lot of people have compared us to Woodstock.
Right.
So people actually come at 2 in the afternoon. They hang around.
Right.
There's a lot of beer flowing. There are chill zones, and there are a lot of
That's what I'm
installations.
saying. It sounds like a very successful product. Why
Yes.
why don't you make money on it?
So I think it's time now.
It's about time.
Yes.
But if I could just put in my 2 bits, maybe you've got too many performers who are not versatile enough because you have one set for this, one set for that. I know this one guy myself. I can probably strum together everything. I can do the jazz for you, electronica. I can just do some rock and roll. I can do some gospel. I can do some hymns. I can do some old Kishore Kumar songs with a bad Parsi accent. Dil dikadek ko, dil dikadek ko, dil dikadek ko. That kind of thing.
So what echoes?
The millennials have gone mad. They're taking out guns. Yeah.
So what the festival is able to do, it's able to actually get the right audience in a large format.
Mm-hmm.
So last year we had around 12,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, surprisingly,
where do they stay?
40 to 45% were women. I think that's the largest gathering of...
Only in Bangalore.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yes, and a very safe place.
Yeah, but why doesn't the government help then? Because you're getting 12,000 people traffic.
So
that's like
of
big
course,
for the state.
Every year we have Karnataka tourism as part of this initiative, because one of the stages we dedicate.
But they also have to look after your own mantris, no? Who are
Yes.
always going to that Eagleton resorts and all that. So they've got that problem. For Karnataka tourism, 50% is their own parliamentarians who have to be taken care of.
Yes. It's a mess.
Yeah,
It's still a mess.
What happened to Bangalore politics is one of the cleanest states and the most advanced progressive states growing up. Maharashtra and Karnataka have really fallen.
Yeah.
From the heydays of 80s and 90s when they're looked upon as, the two cities, Bangalore and Mumbai, looked upon as the, pinnacle of culture,
Correct.
of cosmopolitanism, of, art, of progress, of business, commerce, IT. But what's happening?
Ground reality is, I think, Bangalore is run by the people of the city.
Which is good or bad?
Because the government has no involvement at all.
Hence it remains good.
Yeah, so if the...
Why can't Rahul Dravid be the chief minister? I love Rahul Dravid.
I wish it would
he's a great guy.
Yeah, I
He's
wish
a straightforward
it was
fellow.
possible.
Plays with a straight bat.
Yeah.
We should
He's
now.
the wall.
He's the wall. You need the wall. We need the wall. Forget China. We have a better wall. You're right. You're absolutely right. I would definitely make him. Maybe, and since Vishwanath is my favorite growing up, I would make him deputy CM.
Yeah.
But with no work. I want him to relax and have a good time.
Yeah.
Just cut a ribbon here and there at one of your events. All right, we're running out of time. So, Roshan, anything else you want to tell us about what's coming up next? So, you've got this, you do these events. You also, in a way, it's almost like you're giving back with your music events and curating all these festivals.
So, something about Echoes which we completely missed out.
Please.
It's India's greenest music festival.
Okay.
So, what I'm trying to tell you is 80% of the festival is produced with junk. So all your set designs, your stage designs, as we speak today, my team is scouting out
As
junk.
in recycled?
Yes.
Oh.
So
I just thought the artists are crap.
No,
for
no.
a second. With junk.
Yeah. So it's 100% recycled production. It's called the greenest festival because everything is sustainably produced. We put saplings for all the carbon emission we emit because we're flying an artist from somewhere else.
Or to make up for that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one. You use the plane and then you say,
Correct,
I understand
correct,
what you're saying.
correct.
Why can't the artist walk, man? Really highly overrated sometimes.
So also every year we choose a theme, correct? So last year marine conservation was a theme.
Okay.
So all our stages were designed underwater. So this year it's about the endangered animals. So it's called the Sanctuary.
Right.
So
have you included the Parsi in the endangered animals?
Yeah.
Huh?
There's a corner.
There is one?
Yes.
With
We have
good-
Parsi food for sure.
And Parsi music also? To my queen, I play the mandolin by the shores of Nepal's Bay. Valentina. Sorry, don't curate my festivals, whatever you do. Sorry, rush you, Roshan, but we have reached the 3.5 hour peak.
Yeah.
At which point the festival will almost run its course.
Yeah.
But we have the AMAs coming, so we'll be back in a second.
Sure.
Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you are not following us on social media, please make sure you do. And why aren't you following us? I've been asking you for almost a year now to follow us. Please do follow us. One of the things that I do ask you guys to do every so often is if you hear something you like, take a screenshot, tag us on social media. As I mentioned, we're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, everybody, I wanted to ask you to fill out a survey for us. If you could go to ivmpodcast.com/survey, there is a form over there. It'll take less than a minute. We're just trying to get some additional information that will help us get more advertisers on board. On the Scene and the Unseen, Amit is joined by Aira Mukhoti, author and historian. They focus on women of the Mughal era and discover a complex world where women are major players jostling for power. On Advertising is Dead, Varun Dagirala is joined by an old friend and head of agency partnerships and creative services at Google India, Aditya Swami. They talk about the evolving marketer in today's time. On football, Shitball host Gaurav, Karthik and Siva round up the weekend's fixtures, most notably Liverpool versus Tottenham. On Golgappa with Trupti Khamkar, Trupti is joined by Mandar Bhide, a stand-up comic who talks to her about the business of content and some fun experiences doing shows. Speaking of shows, on Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Janice and Anirudh talk about HBO's new teen drama series Euphoria. And on the Geek Fruit podcast, we have a treat for the Breaking Bad fans. Join hosts Jishnu and Tejas as they discuss El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Simplified is back again with part 4 of their 150th episode. In this episode, they talk about the implications of Brexit and the transformation of Dubai. Speaking of other countries, on Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav talks about his trip to Turkey with his friends and how you can curate your travel to make them the most fun and memorable experiences. On our Kannada podcast, Thalle Harate Satya Sankaran joins Pawan Srinath to talk about how non-motorized transport needs new thinking, behavior, policy, infrastructure, action, and more. On The Origin of Things, Chuck narrates an interesting story about a Brazilian company that struggled its way through World War II and the Great Depression. And with that, let's get you on with your show.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Back here with the AMAs, Roshan is kind enough to stay. And Abhineet joins us. Abbas is still on leave. Last seen in Goa, loitering in short pants. Fat Indian man in short pants in Goa. Typical story.
Okay, so this question is from Nihar.
Mm-hmm.
He asks, I have seen many Indian stand-up comic acts on YouTube and I have noticed that many a times the written material is mediocre, but the stand-up comic makes it up with his or
the singer, not the song, it's called.
Powerful art of projection. According to you, which is that comic or one of his or her act whose writing you were not impressed with, but
I'm a racist. I don't watch Indian comics. I just don't like the color. But I have watched some comics who I like Conan O'Brien, who basically without any jokes freewheels for about 10 minutes, which I find great fun. It's like an organic thing, it just happens on the spot and people have fun and all
Impromptu.
that. Actually, the rehearsed lines, sometimes they sound like rehearsed lines, and then, it's almost like you're with your wife again, you planned what to say. No, not your wife. I'm with my wife and you're with your wife. So that's not, don't look at me like that. God,
I don't have a wife.
You don't have a wife? Hey, that's cool, bro. It's all good. It's all good. As long as you're green.
Yeah.
You're conserving and saving and empowering the world.
Yeah.
Roshan, do you have any comment to make about this? Is there, when you watch comedians or even artists, do you find that when they perform more spontaneously, it's...
So I think if you understand comedy at this point, the improvisers is hot right now.
Improv,
correct?
yeah.
So, and currently, it's not scripted at all. Correct. You just pick up a topic and then
the crowd also likes that because they can see it growing.
Yes.
And even when there are mistakes, they're sort of in the moment with you. So it's fun.
Correct. And I think of late people have become more spontaneous and the content is just getting better.
Super.
I think no more scripted comedy.
I think all we need now is naked comedy.
Yeah.
Once we hit naked comedy, we've hit the zenith of the art form. We've changed to tablas again. Tak, 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 which used to be funny once when I was young.
It's still funny.
It is? What, you're against classical music?
No,
I'm just don't like percussion. I'm also not a big fan of percussion. I think percussion just is like war. You hear the drums. It's always scary. Animals don't like it. Old people don't like it. Percussion is not my favorite. Do you like percussion?
Only the strings.
Strings are great. What about the mouth organ? Back. That's it. That's all the questions we have. Okay, we've run out of time. We have only one question. If you have a question, please write in to us. I can't keep recycling questions. We recycle the rest to save the world, but not the questions.
Sure.
Roshan, thank you so much. It's called Swordfish. He'll be around with festivals. When is the next one?
7th and 8th of December.
7th and 8th of December. It's called
Echoes of Earth.
Echoes of Earth, which also sounds like a sari line.
Yeah.
Echoes of Earth.
Thanks, Cyrus.
All right, cheers, man. Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
And that's what Cyrus says.
नमस्ते, मैं हूँ सौरभ चंद्रा
और मैं प्रणय कुटस्थाने।
जब महफिल खत्म होते होते दरवाजे के बाहर पुलिया के ऊपर हम दुनिया भर की जटिल समस्याओं को सॉल्व करने में लग जाते हैं तो हो जाती है पुलियाबाजी।
अब आजकल के अपार्टमेंट वालों ने तो कभी पुलिया देखी नहीं होगी, पर आप फीलिंग तो समझ ही सकते हैं।
तो आइए शामिल हो जाइए हमारी पुलियाबाजी में, जहां प्रणय और मैं एक से एक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक्स की तह तक जाएंगे।
आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, बिटकॉइन, पाकिस्तान, मेडिकल एजुकेशन, करेंसी क्राइसिस, कभी हम दोनों के साथ और अक्सर स्पेशल एक्सपर्ट गेस्ट की कंपनी में।
सुनिए हमें IVM की वेबसाइट, ऐप या अपने फेवरेट पॉडकास्टिंग प्लेटफॉर्म पर हर दूसरे हफ्ते।
What do we have to do? Welcome to What a Play, you guys. This is the favorite sports podcast of several sports persons such as myself, Dudeja and Mikhail, who also happen to be the hosts.
Yes, you should definitely listen to our podcast for our take and quite a uninformed but hilarious take on sports every week. We give out awards, we discuss what happened in the world of sports, and
we take breaks as well.
We come up with jingles and sound effects on the go. So you should definitely give us an example of a sound effect, Dudeja.
Bolo Matthew Vade.
Yeah, tune in for some of that, bro. You can catch us on the IVM network every Wednesday on the go. On the Wednesday, in the Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, What a Player. What a Player W, Wednesday W.
Wow. Wednesday. Wednesday to Wednesday, What a Player, Matthew Vade.